My name is James Graves, and welcome to Night Journey Rewind. I've got something really exciting. A mutual friend of ours named Eric Wyatt told me, he said, "Hey, man, there's this cat. You got to interview him. You got to check him out in an interview." And I said, "Okay, who is he?" So he told me his name, and he said that he plays baritone sax. I said, "Baritone sax?" And, I have nothing against the baritone sax because I love the baritone sax. And so anyway, man, we just went on. We kept on, kept talking. I said, okay. So I looked into it. And I said, oh yeah, I got to interview this cat. So happy to have him on our show, Jason Marshall, to Night Journey Rewind. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's go down. Let's go down memory lane. Uh, how did it start for you? How did it start for you musically?
Musically, it started probably with no. It definitely started with my mother singing to me. My mother sang to me every day for 18 years. And so I always had music in my head and in my ears. And then took piano lessons after that, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old maybe. And then at the end of third grade year, the public school system that I matriculated through, they would have instrument demonstrations so that everyone could choose over the summer if they wanted to do chorus or band going into fourth grade. And so I saw a saxophone, and that's what I wanted to do. So my parents rented me a saxophone, and that's what I did. And that was fourth grade, and then I kind of took to it. And growing up in D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia, there's a lot of music, a lot of musicians, a lot of pros. So I had access to really good teachers very early on. And DC in the 80s and 90s was a very, culturally informed, frankly, Afrocentric place to be. So we had it better than the national average culturally. So I started there, and let's see, I continued into middle school, and in middle school, I started playing the baritone. Started on alto. In sixth grade, I started playing baritone because I saw over the summer a brother named Montrell Smith play baritone, and he was like the star of this music camp that I went to. And so I saw him playing it, and then when I got to middle school, they had a baritone, and Holly Pasquale was my teacher, and she gave me a mouthpiece and a reed, and that was it. I got on the baritone, and it was just strong, and I could hear the potential in it. What little I understood at 11, 12 years old or whatever. And yeah, I just got on it, and that was it. That was it.
It's interesting because in high school, I started I started playing alto, and then I went to tenor, then I went to baritone in my senior year. And that's why I was asking about your feeling, because there's just something about that bottom that I loved about the baritone. But now,
Sure.
you took this baritone, or maybe I should ask you first of all, when did you say, okay, I'm gonna make the baritone my main instrument, and then dip into this world of this great African American classical art form we call jazz? How did you put those two together?
Yeah. I never knew it separate. There was never anyone telling me I couldn't do it. And there was examples around me everywhere of just great musicians and musical events. And I mean, even in the suburbs, the military bands would play for free every week. And so we got to see stuff on a high level without having to go through too many changes. As kids, we got to see all of that. And so, with the baritone and African American classical music and all the different contemporary things, like I had a teacher who was a great baritone player immediately, Lorenz Wheatley, and then I studied with Paul Carr and Fred Foss, and I mean I was around pros like instantly. So there was never like a jump from where I started to
It was already like
music
that
for real.
growing up.
My name is James Graves. This is Night Journey Rewind, and we are visiting with baritone saxophonist Jason Marshall. Now you came to New York in 2003. What was your goal, or what was your plan?
Yep. To be the best baritone player there could be. No, I mean I've had a good run. I can say that I've been very fortunate in that since I moved to New York, things have just gotten better and better and better, work wise, and just more and more beneficial relationships and a lot of personal growth, and just everything I came to New York to do, I've done.
I, for a personal question, when you come to the West Coast, brother?
As soon as I can. Absolutely, as soon as I can.
Okay. So you had to, I gotta ask
As
you
soon
this.
as the opportunity present itself.
Good.
Come on.
I would like you to talk to us briefly about your experience playing with Roy Hargrove. Fantastic trumpet player.
Wow. Yeah. Roy took me under his wing because he saw that I was serious about getting better. And it's still a little bit of a sore spot for me. I'm happy to talk about it, but Roy basically surrounded himself with people that took the music very seriously. And so he saw that I was also very serious about music. And so one day, after, he would say, yeah, we're going to play one day. Give me your number. Give me your number. And finally, he called me. And I did matter of fact, first gig I did with him was at the Playboy Festival, the Hollywood Bowl.
Wow. I was there.
Yep, first gig ever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there.
You saw me get my start.
Yeah. Wow.
2004.
Because that's where I met Roy.
Okay. Yeah.
At the bowl,
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep. And Roy was just he cared so much about music that he would never miss an opportunity to just help you grow in whatever way he could. Because the way he sort of dealt with life broadly was through music. And like all of us, he was a complicated individual personally. But in terms of music, he was just so serious and so committed and so intent on presenting it at the highest level as often as possible.
Mm. Mm. Well said. Well said. You're not the first person that had those same sentiments about Roy. And I only met him briefly, but through his music, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. Yep.
Your latest project, what's the name of it?
Yep. It's called New Beginnings.
Talk briefly about it.
So New Beginnings is a quartet album that I made in January of this year on the Stellar Live label. And I was contacted by Jeremy Pelt, who was the producer. And he put me in touch with Corey Weeds, who's the executive producer for the label. And we agreed on a date, and Corey booked Rudy Van Gelder Studios. And we agreed that it should be what we call in the music a blowing date. So just pick some tunes, have some nice little arrangements for them, call a strong rhythm section, and get to work. And it was really, really kind of old school how it happened, because the night that it was decided that I was going to record for Cellar, I didn't even meet the producer. He was there, but I was playing with the Charles Mingus Big Band at a club in New York called Django. And he heard me, and without even speaking to me, he calls Jeremy Pelt, the producer, and says, "We got to record J.C. Marshall right away."
Mm.
And this had to been like around Christmas, And so Jeremy Pelt, is a friend and mentor of mine since I got to New York. And he called me. He said, "Hey, Corey Weeds with Selling Music wants to record you right away. So let's put something together. Here's your budget." And I called, I called the people I trust the most. I called Willie Jones, Gerald Cannon, and Mark Carey. And I had so many other things going on at the time. I said, "Man, we're not going." I said it to him just like this. I said, "We're not going to get a chance to rehearse, but I'm gonna have a list of music, and I trust y'all with my life. So we don't have anything to worry about."
Mm-hmm. Well, no, go ahead.
There was nothing to worry about.
Right.
So, I wrote down on a piece of paper what I was thinking, and the tempos and the keys and everything, and I sent it to Jeremy Pelt. He goes, "If you like it, I love it. Let's go." And that was it.
Sounds like a dream almost comes true.
Exactly like that.
Tell me, what's in the future for you?
The future is bright and busy. I'm writing a suite for saxophone and orchestra. And it will be mostly bass saxophone. The suite is called The Last Conduit. And I have an R&B record that I'm finishing up with a quartet. I have kind of all the pieces in place. I'm going to do Bird with Strings on baritone for the first time. And what else? I think, in addition to doing gigs in support of New Beginnings, I'll be doing that as, obviously we have a CD release show on December 9th at Cellar Dog. And, just doing shows in support of that and everything else I talked about. So it's a lot coming.